Coming to you live once again, it's your boy Wex breaking the Lawson for another AEW Dynamite review on a special little Turkey Day edition. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are having a good holiday out there. Eating some good old food out there. I got me some turkey. It's fucking shit. Oh, fuck a good bone. But before we get into the review, I got a few things I want to talk about. Revive Pro Wrestling will be returning to you this January 2021. We decided to take off through the holidays. Everybody can be with their families. Everybody can stay healthy, save a little money. We're going to be coming back strong in January. And you'll be ready for some badass motherfucking pro wrestling in Centerville, Tennessee. Revive Pro Wrestling. Go follow them on YouTube, all the other social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, all that bullshit. This Saturday, a new episode of Kayfabe Comparisons drop with your host, Mr. Know-It-All Daniel Schaefer, me and your boy Jesse Baker, again coming back this time with Survivor Series 2020 going up against Survivor Series 2000. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, it wasn't everything that I thought it was gonna be. It was actually quite surprising. If you guys want to check that out, new episode dropping this Saturday. I subscribed on Spotify. You can get it on any of the major platforms. It's got podcasts on it. So go give that motherfucker a listen. You want to hear almost about 2 hours of us bang it out and rang it out about some fucking wrestling. And without further ado, here's your AEW Dynamite review for this week. And our first match of the night starts off with my main man, the Meat Man, Jon Silver, taking on somebody that we haven't seen since Full Gear, Hangman Adam Page, and what I thought was probably one of the best matchups of the night, surprisingly a very hard-hitting, very brutal style match. That Dark Order juices gets me fucking rock hard, baby. Guys, this was a really fun matchup. It basically was the story. Jon Silver was trying to use his recruiting techniques on Hangman Page throughout this entire matchup. He got a little slap on the booty. He was up there flexing, filling on his guns. He was just trying to, he was trying to do his recruitment specialist job. And honestly, they had some solid back and forth work, very hard stiff strikes, and Jon Silver is just a little ball of fucking energy out there. At one point, he reversed Hangman's buckshot lariat into a Hurricane Rana, followed by a fury of offense, including a German suplex, a super kick, and a twisting brainbuster, all in about 3 seconds. But all that fucking offense did not seem to be enough because Hangman Adam Page connected with that second buckshot lariat, boom, fucking turn Jon Silver inside out. 1, 2, 3, your winner, Hangman Adam Page. And after the matchup, the Dark Order came down to the ring. Hangman thought they were going to whoop his ass again, but this time they didn't. They just helped up their buddy Jon Silver. They basically cut a little promo saying, the Elite, they're the real cult. You tried to leave and they wouldn't let you leave? That sounds like a cult to me. Up next, we get backstage with cleaner Kenny Omega himself with Alex Marquez. He cuts a nice little promo saying that basically, the more things change, the more things stay the same. And he told Jon Moxley, you better leave that garbage wrestling at home, that hardcore bullshit. I want to see you beat me in the ring like a man with some real deal wrestling.
No steel chairs, no barbed wire. We made suplexes and holds and pins and stuff like that.
And then he also said, and one thing, what you said about your dad last week, I don't think he was that tough at all. And you know what? I think my dad could beat the shit out of your dad. And I was like, damn, getting real cleaner on him. And he said, goodbye, good night, all that good stuff. Kenny means business. Next up, the newest member of Team Tazz, Will Hobbs. Formerly they were calling Will Power, now he is the Powerhouse Hobbs, the new moniker I guess Tazz came up for him. Pretty sick, and he makes his way to the ring in the classic orange and black Tazz gear. He's going all in on this team FTW shit. And he's taking on the newest member of the Nightmare family, Big Shotty Lee Johnson. They're keeping that Nightmare family Team Tazz whole dynamic going up real heavy right now. But it was a fucking squash match. Big Powerhouse Hobbs basically hit like an even harder version of Mark Henry's World's Strongest Slam, if that's what you want to call it, but it was fucking sick. He got the quick, easy pin, and then Tazz comes down to the ring, cuts a really hard promo about how Team FTW, Team Tazz, doesn't get any respect, the FTW World title doesn't get any respect, and then Cody comes out and tries to cut him off. Cody talks a little shit, cuts a little promo on him, and then he takes a fucking shot at Tazz's son. If Cody's not a fucking heel, I don't know what is. Come on now, taking shots at family now, taking the low blows where it's unnecessary. Good guys, baby faces ain't supposed to do that type of shit. Babyface insult family type beat, that ain't right. Of course, in classic pro wrestling fashion, Cody turns around after he makes the cheap shot at Tazz, so what does Tazz do? He cinches in the Tazz mission, takes Cody all the way down. I remember putting a kid in a Tazz mission when I was about 7 or 8 years old, maybe 9. That was my glory day fight moment for you. Soon after that, they show a nice little backstage segment with Ricky Starks and the rest of Team Tazz. Hobbs, Cage flanked on each side. He cuts a promo about how they're going to have a match next week against Darby Allin and Cody. And speaking of Darby Allin, he has another classic little promo video in the black and white fashion. This time the car that he had when he won the TNT Championship. He sets it on fire, walks to the camera, does that classic brooding Darby Allin type shit. I don't know if Mac Daddy Max Shoulder made this one, but if he did, I like it.
If it caught on fire, he did.
If it caught on fire, he did. Well, there we go. And it was like fire, and you could tell some of it was real, some of it was fake fire, a little CG and real mixed together. I could tell it was a little bit of fire mix. You could tell it all wasn't real fire, but Mac Daddy Max Yoder. All right, our next match of the night, we get the young team returning for their second week in a row. Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin, taking on TH2, the hybrid 2 of Angelico and From the Heavens, Jack Evans. Jack Evans just kind of looks dirty and nasty, like his teeth, his face, like, I don't know what, but he just looks like a fucking dirty little weasel heel, like, he could never be a babyface. And honestly, like, after watching Survivor Series last week, Montez Ford and Dante Martin are the two best leapers in the business. They don't even look like they're trying. They effortlessly just float in the air when they do shit. I don't understand. It doesn't even look real. And again, Top Flight impressed. They did some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. Some nice spots, a double tope, over the top suicide dive combo. They really pulled a lot of double team moves. They really, really impressed me again this week. But all the crazy moves, all the high flying, and all the cool stuff wasn't enough to overcome the veteran prowess of TH2. TH2 gets the submission victory over Top Flight, and after the match, they start beating them down and they won't let up, and the Young Bucks come out to make the save. Next, we get the nepotism backstage promo from Latino Heat's ex-wife, Vicky Guerrero herself, with Nyla Rose basically saying she was kind of behind the Jade Cargill attacks. She's the mastermind. Brandy's a bitch. And my only other note is Brandy is a hoe. We get a little FTR promo package. They're fired up. They're saying the Young Bucks were only better than them for 3 seconds, and they need them World Tag Team titles back. They're coming for them. They want them. They need them. They gotta get them. And Tully Blanchard says, "Fear the revelation." Up next, we get a highly anticipated match, something that's never ever happened in the pro wrestling business. Two 50-year-old wrestlers who have never wrestled against each other finally meeting face to face for the first time ever. Christopher Daniels, SCU, teaming up with Frankie Kazarian, taking on Jake Hager and Y2J Chris Jericho. Peckers. What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone oh shit, it's a penis. They put on commentary, it's an overcombined 57 years of experience or some shit like that. A lot of pro wrestling from these two dudes. I've been watching both of these guys since I was a wee little peck. Even weer than I am now. Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle come out to the ring, debuting the new Painmaker clothing line. All got nice new matching shirts and jackets. I was wondering, are you sponsoring Chris Jericho? Can you send me a box? Can I send you a video?
Hook your boy
Can you hook your boy up? I'll wear some Painmaker gear on the show. I can wear skateboarding, wrestling, anything. I mean, come on. I'll make it look real good. I won't have to be squeezing into it like you do.
Whoa!
Ooh, I'm sorry. This was a pretty solid matchup, nothing special. Pretty decent though, you know, it was cool to see those two lock up for the first time. They were nice, hitting some good back and forth stuff.
Breaking news, Kenny Omega is officially a Redcon 1 athlete.
Kenny Omega, Redcon 1, getting them gains, baby. There was a scary botch that the camera and the production crew, because this wasn't live, seemed to kind of save, but Frankie Kazarian went over the top into a Hurricane Rana. It looked like he landed on his head. Kind of scary, but I guess it wasn't that bad because the match continued. It all came to a head when MJF came out with that Dynamite diamond ring, boom, behind the ref's back. Judas Effect is by Chris Jericho. Then Jake Hager goes 1, 2, 3 for the win. The Inner Circle, they look stronger than ever. They got that large group out there with the addition of MJF and Wardlow. They're looking real mean. After the match, they start beating down Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels in the middle of the ring, and then Scorpio Sky runs down, swinging that chair in for the save, because he ain't gonna let his boys get their ass whipped. And then not long after that, we get a little promo backstage from Chris Jericho and MJF, pissed off at Frankie Kazarian for taking a cheap shot. So, for the first time ever, I think, also, we're gonna get Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian one-on-one next week on Dynamite.
The Inner Circle's ready to rip your pecker off and toss it out. You don't even need it.
We got a weird little segment next backstage with Miro and Kip Sabian setting up their new little video game bullshit thing. You saw an Xbox home screen in the background, and then they open the door and go outside, and there's Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, and they ambush them, beat them down. Miro takes the cameraman out, setting up the match between them for next week. And up next, we get ready finally for the second week in a row, the contract signing. Winter is coming next week for December 2nd for the AEW World Championship match between the Cleaner, Kenny Omega, and Jon Moxley, your current AEW World Champion. And of course, Kenny Omega got another long, hyped-up, crazy entrance, including the girls sweeping, the long-winded intro from Justin Roberts, including another mention of North Carolina. Just like I told you, remember that key factor right there. That's gonna come up in the weeks to come. I guarantee you. But before your boy Kenny Omega could make it to the ring, something appeared behind his silhouette, and it was Jon Moxley, and he just started whipping Kenny's ass all the way to the ring, took him to the ring, kept whipping that ass, set out the belt, paradigm shift, head onto the belt, right into his face, cuts a promo basically saying, I know you were behind the attack, I don't know who you hired, but I don't give a fuck. You're gonna have to dig down deep, be the real best in the world, Kenny Omega, if you're gonna take my title from me. I am so fucking excited for this title match next week. I can't wait, it's gonna be fucking sick. I'm more hyped for this than probably anything AEW's been putting on for a while, because hopefully the Cleaner returns and takes the title, and it's goodbye, good night, Jon Moxley. No gun violence. I don't like gun violence unless I'm shooting your dick off. Up next, we got a match actually with a very solid promo package hyping it up. AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida taking on the Queen Slayer, number 99 of the Dark Order, Anna Jay. And honestly, I wish AEW would do more of these promo packages. This got me way more hyped up for the match than it probably would have before. It was nice. They showed a little thing about the friendship between Anna Jay and Tay Conti, how she'd been training with her, still trying to get recruited to the Dark Order, how Hikaru Shida doesn't care that her knee's a little banged up, she doesn't give a fuck, she's coming forward. It's going to be a good match. This is honestly a very solid back and forth match. I can see how much that Anna Jay's improved since her debut way back when they were doing the little Georgia little bubble thing and the pandemic first started. She's really improved her skills. It was a very, very fun match. But the fighting spirit and the heart of a champion pulled through and shined through whenever she came over the heel tactics of the Dark Order when Anna Jay hit her with a cheap shot with her own kendo stick. I forgot what the weapon was. And then it was the 1-2-3 when Hikaru Shida hit that perfect signature running knee on Anna Jay to retain her AEW Women's World Championship. Then after the match, something happened that AEW also doesn't do. They continued something with the AEW Women's World Champion after her match on AEW Dynamite. We heard some familiar music that we haven't heard in a long time on Dynamite. Abaddon crawled her way down the ramp and grabbed the AEW Women's World Championship and just licked it and marked it with blood. As I guess she's obviously giving the message to Hikaru Shida, I'm coming for your fucking title. I'm next in line. And I think that Abaddon has an awesome, creepy fucking look. I'm really excited that they're going to keep pushing something else forward. Usually you get a match with Hikaru Shida on there, and then nothing, you don't see her for 2 weeks. We are actually getting more women's wrestling with more stories that make sense, more continuation, not Hikaru Shida disappearing for 2 weeks and randomly appearing and squashing somebody. I'm looking forward to see what her and Abaddon can do, and hopefully they have a pretty solid feud that leads to a fun title match. They need to keep this women's division stuff going and keep it good and fresh. And without further ado, your main event of the evening, Rey Fenix and Pac, accompanied by Pentagon Jr. or Penta El Cero Miedo, whatever the fuck you want to call him, whatever promotion he's wrestling in at the time, versus the Butcher and the Blade, accompanied by Eddie Kingston and the Bunny. And of course, your boy Eddie Kingston heads his ass on over to commentary because you know he's gonna talk some shit. Yo, I'm from New York and my family and the Butcher and the Blade and like my mom and I struggle. Kingston, of course, was taking jabs the entire time at commentary, keeping it very interesting, but yet still putting over the talent on the match, too, at the same time somehow, which is a very hard, fine line you have to tread when you're on commentary. Honestly, this match started off fucking action-packed hardcore from the beginning. Pac and Rey Fenix immediately started with stereo topes to the outside, and it was just hard, fast, and furious from the beginning all the way. We saw some brutal, hard-hitting stiff shots from Pac, Butcher, Blade. Everybody was really laying it into each other, not holding anything back. This was a very strong style-esque type match, just boom, boom, just everything. But of course, you know, it couldn't be a match involving the family without Eddie Kingston getting involved, so before you know it, Rey Fenix is on the top rope, Eddie knocks him off the top, Butcher and Blade hit the full death for the 1-2-3 pin. Butcher and the Blade get the victory. But a victory, oh no, that's not enough for the family and Eddie Kingston. They go down and start beating the fuck out of Rey Fenix, Pac, and everybody in the ring. And as they're beating him down, we hear Lance Archer's music hit. He makes his way down to the ring for the save, and he's still pissed off at Eddie Kingston back from that little battle royal business they had going on, if you know what I'm talking about, where Archer won, but Kingston was never eliminated, so he hasn't forgot about that. He's definitely coming for Eddie Kingston's ass. He's coming on his ass. But honestly, this week's AEW Dynamite was a very fun episode. I had a great time. The work rate was high, all the matches were great, not a single bad match on the card tonight. They definitely got me hyped up for next week's Winter is Coming, where we're going to have the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal for the second time. MJF is going to have to put that on the line, and we're getting the AEW World Championship title match between the Cleaner and Jon Moxley. This episode was perfect. Did everything it needed to do. It got me hyped up for next week. It furthered some storylines in the women's division and a couple other feuds. And I think that's the best way to book a pro wrestling show. This week's episode of AEW Dynamite, my little Turkey Day edition review, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 to sweet. As me and a couple of my friends noticed, not a live crowd and some extra piped in fake crowd noise, which just kind of took it away from me a little bit. Like if you're watching a football game and they got the fake noise and you hear the crowd and you're looking up and you're like, oh shit, nothing's really going on. That kind of takes a little bit away from it. But overall, great show, 4 out of 5 to sweet, and we'll see you next week.